Hello, my name is Michael Roble, and I have spent 30 years in the industry working for every business unit from municipal to steel mills to oil and gas. And these videos are my way to show people of various levels of experience how to use Revit, and even toss in lessons learned from projects over the years. With that said, let's get to it. In this video, I want to talk about structural columns and structural framing. While whether it's steel or concrete, they behave the same way. There's different nuances to steel. There's more nuances, really. So this video here is going to kind of focus on concrete, both cast in place and precast. As you can see here, I have a 4x4 grid system. Column lines 1 through 4 and column lines A through D. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place a column on a grid. I go up to the Structure tab, I go to the Structure panel, and then I click on the Column tool. Once I click on this, by default it's going to say depth. I don't want that for this situation. I have two levels on this file. I have one at 0 and one at 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this here for height, and I want to constrain the top to 12. And they're room bounding based off of what you've seen on my short video for spaces and rooms. Now, if you click on here, you can place these on every one of these. Alternatively, you can click on column. It held this information. I'm going to say at grids. Now, if I do a cross grab, it'll place them there. You could see the preview. In order to complete this, you have to finish. Click there, and now they've added all these columns. Now here at elevation 12 feet, you can see the tops of these columns. You can click on it, you go to the Structural tab, the Structural panel, and then there's the Beam tool. What we're going to do is we're going to set this here for an 18 by 18 beam. You could pick here, I'll pick the midpoint, and as you can see, it's previewing the middle of the reference plane of this column, right? If you can hit tab, you can pick the middle here. You can also turn on 3D snapping. If you pick there, you'll get the top of this column. Any one of these will work. You can click on here, and now you will add this beam. If you look in 3D view and you set this for wireframe, if you click on your beam, you can see an analytical justification line on here that explains how this thing is connected to the next element. So as you can see, by us having this set for top, you can see that the top plane of this beam is justified with this line. If you were to set this here for bottom, you can see now it will line up with the underside of that beam. Now if you want to add beams across the whole thing quick, you can click on beam and you could hit on grids. Just like the columns, if you do a cross grab and grab all these, it'll preview. And now you can hit finish. Now if you look in 3D view, you'll see all your columns and grids in position. Now let's say we want to add precast hollow core planks to the top of this. What you can do here is you can actually connect them to the beams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the beam tool. I'm going to set this for the precast hollow core slab, 8-inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this here for bottom justified. So what's going to happen is the justification line for the hollow core will line up with the justification line for the concrete beams. So I can really put this anywhere, right? If I click on here, it's going to find that line and it's going to find this line. And then what you'll look at, if you zoom in on here, you can see there's a gap, which isn't accurate. But if you look at it, what it's coming from is it's this cutback right here. If you know that you want a 4-inch seat on this, you can grab this number and say -4 inches and you could say minus 4 inches. And now what it will give you is it will give you the 4-inch seat that you want. So the nice part about this is if you were to click on one of these columns, and it's going to have a toggle here that says move with grids. You have these beams, and these ones here were assigned to line up with grids, so they're constrained to those grids also. If somebody decided that they want to move this out about 2 feet, we're going to move this out 2 feet, all this stuff went with it, and even this hollow core plank stretched with it, and it maintained the 4-inch seat. And if you look at the hollow core in 3D view, you can see where, if you click on this, you can see the bottom, it's justified bottom, where this is justified top, which means that these lines intersect and have a connectivity, so when one moves, the other one will stretch with it. So based on my math I did earlier, I'm going to need about 14 of these planks, plus you're going to have a customized one on the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this hollow core. I'm going to go up to the Modify tab, and I'm going to click on Array. Now what I can do is I can go up to here and say Linear. I want there to be 14 of these, and if I know they're 4 feet wide, I can pick the second point, which is what I specified here, and I could type 4, enter, and it will add the 14 into here. So I ungrouped the hollow core panels, and I also pulled this one back to 2 feet again, so now I have equal spacing on these columns. What I want to do is I want to fill in this last little area over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this hollow core over to here. Now if I was to put a dimension on here, it says 2'7", so I need 2'8". So I want to take this type, I want to duplicate it, and I want to make this here 2'8". I want to take this width and say 2'8", and I want to grab this cores and I want to change it to about 2/3 of that, so we'll make it 4 hole. And now you can move this over to here. So now I can grab here, right click, I can select all instances visible in a view. I want to hold Control and select this one. I can hit mirror and it's toggled for copy. I can click on this grid. I want to hit mirror. It's set for copy still. I want to pick this grid. So now if you go to your 3D view, you now have your hollow core planks on top of the concrete columns and beams. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure to like and subscribe. There will be a lot more videos coming.